The Power Hour is alive right now. Head over to KFAN.com/watch to catch all of the action, powered by our friends at Quantum Fiber.
First comment. What a joke. It's an angry fan base.
What a joke, meaning this show?
The Vikings, I'm sure. I'm sure Sawyer doesn't think we're...
No, not us.
No, we're not a joke. We're a very serious sports show.
Yeah,
we're going to prove it.
You were a tie.
Here's the replay of Stafford dropping.
I don't want to watch it.
The ball.
See how he gently let the ball go,
Yeah.
but his wrist didn't flick forward like he was making a throwing motion. He just let it float like Henry Rowan.
That's really impressive awareness, though, on his part. To be halfway sacked.
Whoa.
And to know that with the proximity of a possible receiver on the play we just called, and if I just drop it over here.
Yep.
If that was his intent, which I assume it was.
Is it weird that I don't want to watch football this weekend?
What? No, football's the best.
I love it, but like
Be gone for 7 months.
I don't know. Maybe I'll feel better in a few days, but right now I don't want anything to do with football.
Zach, there's one way to get you super pumped for this weekend's football lineup.
Sure.
Gamble on it.
That's right. Get some prop bets
I should
going.
go to Iowa. It's been a while.
Yeah, go to Iowa because then you can make some golf bets for me. I need some Masters tickets so I don't forget.
Actually, I could kill 2 birds and go to Illinois.
Oh, don't kill
Why would you kill birds?
Prostitution's not legal yet.
It's not?
No, I don't think so. I think Chris said it was pending.
Well,
I was only
it
half
hasn't
listening.
passed.
The one bird is the weed bird, and the other bird is the gambling bird.
Is this a bit where he's trying to do the horse references again? And
No,
see how many bird
I just said I was
references
going
he
to
can-
kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I just thought you were maybe going to go on a bird run for the
got
next
golf
60 minutes.
in Illinois.
Yesterday, Marnie, he got banned from a horse website. Right, Maxo?
That is true. Yeah, the internet kicked him off.
WHORES website?
Like a horsey.
Yeah, no, not horse.
H-R-S.
Horse, like the
Four-legged
animal.
ones.
Yeah, the
You got to be more specific.
Oh, my.
Yes, I did hear some of your horse banter yesterday, and I think you just got to put it right back in the stall.
Oh.
Just shut her down.
Hey.
Unsaddle those comments.
Nay.
I'm getting
Stop
back
here.
on the saddle.
All right, Sauce, just for fun, do one horse pun or play on words that was related to the Vikings game last night, just to make Zach from yesterday feel better.
The Vikings really stumbled out of the gate.
That's not bad.
That works.
That's
Yeah.
a solid horse racing reference.
Yeah.
All right, do another.
And the Vikings start over. Let me do it again. I actually have one. The Vikings sure hooved up.
They sure hooved up. They hooved up?
Yeah, like
That one
horsey
didn't work
feet.
as well.
Like horsey feet.
So it's bad to hoove up?
Yeah, they trampled out of the gate. I already said that.
Yeah.
The Vikings played like they will soon be dog food.
Are horses typically dog food?
I think.
I don't think that's
think
how it
glue.
works.
Oh,
Isn't
glue.
that-
The Vikings played like they belong at that one track where all the horses are passing away.
No.
Santa Clarita or something?
Your what hurts?
How about if they just played like horse bleep?
Oh, Santa Anita.
Yeah. Cory swore on the air this morning.
Clarita.
Now I'm just wondering if my dogs eat horse. H-O-R-S-E.
Dogs
Thank
eat
you.
horses.
We serve our dogs that like fresh food stuff. They love it. Like it's
You
crack
keep it in the
cocaine.
fridge?
Yeah.
Who do you feed better then, your dogs or Louie?
Well, Louis drinks
oh,
milk.
boy. Oh,
I would say,
you're right.
yeah. See,
Slaughtered horses are indeed
yeah,
used.
they're playing the Fillmore.
in slaughtered horses. Yeah, they're very good.
They're a folk band.
Heavy folk.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to let your dog eat horse poop.
Well, how many? Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I learned that.
Well, you know, keep it away from the governor of South Dakota,
What?
and
Okay.
be good.
Do we believe the Vikings are going to consider moving on from T.J. Hawkinson? Yes or no?
I mean,
You gotta
Makes a lot of
consider
money.
it.
I think they should at least think about it.
What is it, 17 a year? Something like
he's
that?
the second highest paid tight end in football.
It's a lot of money
Yep, it's a
for
lot of
one
money.
touchdown.
Be invisible an entire season.
Yeah, well, he was hurt half of it, but still, yeah. I think they might. I mean, what do you get for a guy like that? A 4th-round pick? That's a horrible ROI. I mean, when you traded a ton for him. I mean, I'm not trying to, like, no pun intended, beat a dead horse, but, like,
There we go.
They traded a ton for Dallas Turner, and he's a non-factor except for, like, 3 plays all season. You cannot have the 17th or 18th overall pick be a non-factor when Jared Verse and that other Brandon dude that is now on the defensive line, who was a 2nd-round pick from Florida State, is a factor for. It's just, how do you look at Jared Verse and go, nah?
No one wanted Dallas Turner more than you.
Yeah, but sure, but I was wrong. You have to admit he's not good.
Right, but you're trying to say like they clearly should have taken Jared Verse. Well, yeah, that's easy now.
Well, it is
Verse
easy
is
now. No,
the
you are
defensive
right.
player of the year. He's a monster.
You are right.
Rookie defensive
But-
player of the year.
They missed. Dallas
So
Turner
far, it looks
so
like they
far
missed.
is not good.
Because
He's a
you-
one-trick pony.
to your point, Sauce, you
played.
can't have it both ways, right? You can't say that that Dallas Turner didn't get in because of the guys in front of him were playing so well, because you can't argue if Verse was on this team that he wouldn't have gotten reps.
Correct.
Because if he's that unstoppable, you put him on the field.
Right.
So that's what we heard about Dallas all year, right? No, he's doing well. The guys in front of him are just killing it. So we don't really have reps for him. I think you find reps for Jared Verse if he's unstoppable.
And then Patrick Jones gets hurt. You need.
Yeah.
I mean, he had I think Dallas had 1 tackle. I don't remember more than 2 plays he was in. I'm just saying. Hindsight is 2020, of course. You, of course, would go back and take Jared Verse, but like, how can a guy that good in college not really get the NFL game and not be able to get in when you need a pass rush?
All right, now that the season's over, we're going to talk about Darnold until Darnold is either gone or whatever happens with him, right? What they do with the quarterback. KOC is going to be coach of the year. I don't know when they announce that, but he's the heavy favorite.
Yeah,
he's going to
he
win
should
coach
be,
of the
yeah.
year. He's going to get an extension. He's going to get $1 billion. What do you do with Kwesi? Because, man, all you can do is look at this and go, God, he hits home runs on free agents all the time. What a team he put together with some cap space. What could he possibly do with even more cap space next year? But his drafts have been atrocious.
Atrocious.
Like, just brutal. Now, if he gets JJ right, drafting a quarterback cures all.
Yep.
That makes up for a whole bunch of other misses. But to your point, he gave up the house for Dallas Turner.
Yeah.
If he missed on Turner, his first draft with Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth and all those guys was a disaster. His best pick so far is Will Reichard.
Yep. Or Jordan Addison. Did he?
Addison's good, yeah.
He took Jordan Addison.
Wait.
Yeah, 2022. That was their first draft. 2022, right?
His first draft was Cine.
Scene Bear?
Not your little Cine bear. So Cine into Addison, right?
He was
Yes.
the.
So Addison's
Yeah.
Addison, Will Reichard, and is that about it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are we forgetting?
I mean, Dallas Turner, as I've reiterated 45 times, is a non-factor. Andrew Booth is barely in the league with the Cowboys. Lewis Cine is on a practice squad. And I know hindsight's 2020, but how do you look at Kyle Hamilton and go, we're good. We don't want him. And then you trade all the way back. And then I know he has had some issues, but he's a home run hitter. And Jamison Williams? He's good.
Back to Addison again. Though.
Yeah.
Isn't the hot rumor? Haven't we heard from like 1 billion people behind the scenes that Kwesi wanted to trade back again, and KOC basically was like, "We're staying here and taking Addison. Like enough."
I've heard the same thing.
So so how much credit do you give Kwesi if he was the one that had to be basically begged to stay put and take him?
I mean, that's another question for the
hard thing to say.
offseason because the offseason is great. And I wish, like in Madden, we could just simulate to the offseason. Addison is another guy that you maybe could move for. I mean, you have.
He's still super cheap though. Like,
Yeah.
he's still in his rookie deal. He's only played 2 years. Super cheap.
I mean, you have, let's see here. The Minnesota Vikings in the 2025 draft have the 24th overall pick. This is what they currently have. A 5th round pick and a 5th round pick.
Yeah, 155.
That's it.
Yep.
Like, You do have the 80 grand. You do have the 80 million or whatever is in salary cap. Like, I think Javon Holland, who is a safety for Miami, would look great on this team. He's a very good player out of Oregon. He's great.
Who the hell is that?
She's an actress.
Okay.
No, it's a guy. And then the Trey Smith guard from Kansas City, who knows? I don't know.
Nobody knows those two players.
No,
but you're also going to get compensatory picks, right? If you lose players, you're going to get some draft picks. So we'll have more than the 3, but who knows where those other ones will fall.
Right. So you're going to have to get creative. You have to at least, and Swedberg says this every year, and most of the time he's right, you're definitely now going to have to hope that you can move back a little at pick 24 and find something else. I mean, you just have to get creative. But this is how it was all set up. We thought they would, a lot of us, except for Hawk, thought they would be 6-10 or whatever, 6-11. A lot of us thought they wouldn't be very good. They have 80 million in cap space. They have a young quarterback that they wanted at pick 10, that wanted to be here. That went viral over the weekend of how the head coach Harbaugh said that was McCarthy's number 1 spot. You can find things with this. This is a great defense. The 2 defensive ends they have. Jonathan Greenard is a stud. Van Ginkel is great. Cashman's good. Ivan Pace is good. You have to replace an entire secondary, but you have a bunch of cap space. You got to get creative. There's going to be players that are on this team that are under contract that will probably try to be moved for draft picks.
But do you think the Wilfs are willing to give KOC a new deal this offseason, but not Kwesi? Do you think it's a package deal, or do you think it's possible that they give one an extension and not the other one?
I mean,
because KOC is getting one.
Chaos, yeah.
He just has to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would look really bad if you let him go into next year on a lame duck year as a 14-13 win coach. Now, he's yet to win a playoff game. That's tough. It's not just on the players. KOC is, as I said, and yeah, I believe it, he's one of, if not the best coach the Vikings have had. But he's 1-5 in January. That can easily be turned around. It wasn't his fault that Darnold all of a sudden, turned into a pumpkin. But you got to find some firepower. You have to find, hopefully, J.J. McCarthy's your guy, and you got to build a team around him, and it starts at the interior of that offensive line.
So, yes or no on Kwesi?
Oh, yeah, that was the question. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, you could easily, if they came out today and said either we're going to move on from him, it all goes back to what you just said, Cory, in the draft. The drafts have been really bad.
Really bad.
There's a lot more that goes into free agency with the recruiting behind the scenes. I mean, he makes the calls and does all the negotiating, but the draft is your baby. You have to, and you got like 3 decent players out of the 20 plus picks they've had.
Yeah, his offseason with free agency though was a 10 out of 10. Because that also includes Darnold, right?
Yeah.
We always go through Cashman and Greenard and Van Ginkel, but Darnold was a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like the free agency last year was just absolutely a home run to put this team together in 1 year. Paul, your hands up.
But back to what I think the thing, though, is when you look at the entire picture of what this team is, he was brought here to get this team younger and get this team cheaper. And he did. The cap space is huge. That means you can find some players in free agency.
Well, and he's a data guy, right? I mean, that's
from the Goonies, yeah.
Analytics and all that. So, he's looking at this, and that's why I think he can handle the free agent market. While there's so much more data on these players, he's easier to pick. Obviously, when it comes to the draft, I think you got to trust your guys more. You got to build that room more. And we've heard the stories of basically after the first round, it's up to the rest of his crew to decide. And he's just, he's got to get some better guys in there because they're not helping him out because he can't look at all these players too and make all those calls on his own. So I don't know.
I think we should just let Swedberg do the draft.
Swedberg would be the
GM
best
of the
pick, the best hire the Wilfs have ever made.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Are you in a contract here? What's your deal?
What's a contract?
Oh,
wow.
Talk about it.
My guess is if Swedberg was the GM of this team, it would be the first round we'd take an offensive lineman.
Yep.
In the 5th round, we'd take an offensive lineman. The other pick in the 5th round, we'd take an offensive lineman. Then the compensatory picks that we got, we would take offensive linemen.
We would trade back.
We would tag Sam Darnold and trade him for some stud offensive lineman.
Yep.
Well, he's not wrong. I think we had a few issues with the offensive line.
Last night we could have used 20. I don't know I think Sam still would have held onto the ball. even if we had 20 guys blocking.
He's still hanging onto a ball right now as we speak.
We talking about Hawk again?
Yes.
Zach,
I hope he's cleaning it.
quit horsing around.
Cooling it down.
Oh, hold your horses, Martin.
So, Sauce, what I said off air yesterday kind of came true, though. And I didn't want it to come true. But remember what I said to you and Muss off the air? I'm like, if we lose tonight, I just don't want to lose by 2 or 3. I want to get blown out.
Yeah.
So the J.J. McCarthy, Darnold conversation is just dead. And that's what happened. And that's what I feel like now.
Yeah, you're magical.
If they had lost by 2 or 3 and Darnold played really well, then right now we'd be going, man, what do we do with Darnold? But because he played terrible, the line was terrible, they got absolutely smoked. It just feels like the Darnold dream is dead, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're out there going, well, we need to bring him back. I think your ship has sailed because the last 2 weeks have been so bad. I think it's so much of a tougher sell to go, well, I know we have JJ sitting there waiting, but we're going to give Sam 3 years and $120 million and $95 million guaranteed. And we're going to make JJ
back up.
and we're going to make JJ wait. I just don't think that's going to happen now. Even if it was never going to happen, I just think it's a much tougher sell.
It's his team now.
All right, relax. I mean,
He was tweeting.
JJ is going around and he's like, look at me, I'm the captain. I was in the locker room yesterday. He is.
relax about thinking about him in the locker room.
Zach was tweeting thirst traps during the game
I mean, you
of
look
JJ
at
McCarthy.
I think the other thing that can be said about Sam Darnold is when you look around all the quarterbacks that have played and you look at a guy like Eli Manning. Eli Manning was 117 and 117 as a starting quarterback. But what has he done?
Won
He
2
wins
Super Bowls.
He was dominant when the playoffs mattered. He took that last seed. They won 3 straight home games, and then they beat maybe the best team to ever play football in the Super Bowl. That is why Eli Manning got all that money, because he won when it counted.
Do you know what his passer rating is for his career, Eli Manning? I just looked it up because I knew it wasn't very good, but I just looked it up. Do you know what it is? What would you guess?
105.
That would be elite. 84.1.
My God.
Sam had what? Was it like 14 games or 13
Over
games of 100 or more?
Yeah.
We just needed him to be good enough.
Right.
That's what sucks.
But that's the difference. That's why the Joe Flacco's of the world. He was an okay quarterback, but when it counted, they kicked ass.
So what do you do with Sam? Again, if you're a GM of a
You
team
move on.
that was thinking about it 2 months ago.
You move on.
No, I'm talking about other teams. I'm not talking about the Vikings. I'm saying if you're another team going, Sam's on my list.
Probably talk to his agent.
You have some dialogue?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I wouldn't necessarily trust him on my team, especially without KOC.
And without Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkins.
I mean, even Tyler was pretty good if you were within 5 feet
You know,
of him.
you know, quarterbacks stick together, right? Right. I think quarterbacks have a hard time ripping other quarterbacks because they know how hard it is to play quarterback. Brady Quinn this morning was like, I hate to say this, but he's like, Sam Darnold can win you a whole bunch of games, but he just might not be the guy when it comes to the big moments. That's what this season looks like, but it's just a 1 season sample size of him playing that well and then failing when it matters. But this year it looked like when the lights got bright, he crumbled.
And you have a 2-game sample size to
Yep.
look at. It's not just the one. You had 2
Both.
games with the bright lights.
And those were arguably his 2 worst games of the year.
As they
It
say,
sucks.
fool me once, fool me twice, shame on.
3 times a lady, right?
Great song.
Won't get fooled again.
Yep. All right, that was Fan 5.
We didn't. Thank you, builders and remodelers.
Hey, do we have to play the Greenard bit, right? Isn't there a full Greenard interview?
I don't know, probably. Is that the plan?
I have it
Yeah, we should play it because I think it's
now or when we come back.
When we come back.
when we come back.
All right, we'll play that when we come back. And then
Get angry at me.
I'm not angry at you.
I'm not talking to Sauce. He's-
Corey's never been angry
He
at
got-
you.
No, I like Zach. Zach's very clever. I'm going to miss him next week.
Where's he going?
Probably get let go.
going to Philadelphia.
Too close to home.
I like the joke.
I think he's going to get let go next week because there's a giant reggae concert we got to hold in Atlanta.
Oh, well. I'll bring the yacht.
Now bring the rock.
Is that one of the
I'll bring
performers?
Lizzo.
I'll be working on the yacht.
Grenard when we come back. Headlines when we come back. The lovely Marnie Gellner after this as well. This is the Power Trip on the Fan.
The Fan.
Join 9 to Noon's Eric Nordquist this Saturday at 7 p.m. at Tom's Watch Bar for a KFAN Wild Watch Party. We'll have all of the games live on the big screens, including your hometown hockey team, delicious food and drinks, and your chance to secure exclusive KFAN swag. Get all of the details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
All right, welcome back to the Power 2 Morning Show. Marnie Gellner's here. Marnie, your squad won last night. I know everybody's squad, the Minnesota Vikings, are out. They lost last night to the Rams. If you turned it off at halftime, you didn't miss much. Got gross in the second half as well. But the Wolves cruised to a win over a terrible Wizards squad.
Terrible.
So at least somebody won. Jonathan Greenard joins us every Tuesday during the football season. Hopefully he comes on in the next couple of weeks, too. I don't know if he's going to get out of here for a couple of weeks and hit the beach in Mexico or something, right? Decompress. But for now, Leber had a chance to talk to him after the game last night in Arizona. He was very frustrated with the fumble incomplete call by Matthew Stafford because Greenard was the one that, quote, forced that fumble that Cashman housed that was taken off the board. But Jonathan didn't mince any words. He did not like that call very much, but dude, just a class act. Monster year for Jonathan Greenard. Again, home run signing when almost none of us had ever heard of him. I had never heard of him when they said they gave Jonathan Greenard a giant deal. Who the hell is this kid? Monster year.
Monster.
Right? Effort always gave his all. A whole bunch of disruptive plays, tons of pressures on the quarterback all season long. And, they didn't lose very often, but always joined our show after a win or a loss. Stand up, dude. So shout out to Jonathan Greenard. All right, let's play the old interview with Ben Leber and Jonathan Greenard after last night's loss to the Rams.
We're here with Jonathan Greenard, and I know this is really tough to put you in this spot, to be reflective after such an abrupt end, but how do you sum up in words, just your journey here to the Minnesota Vikings in this last year?
Yeah, man. The whole goal, obviously, just coming to this year off of free agency was to finish or build upon what I did, obviously, in the previous years. And last year I got to this first one. I got to the next game after we beat the wild card game. I was like, look, we got to build upon this. If I'm going anywhere, I want to go somewhere we're going to be contenders and obviously back in this spot. So, man, did I make the right decision, man. This place is amazing. Like, it was everything and then some, from the home games, my first home game, seeing how crazy the fans really get. And I didn't even think NFL Stadium could even get that loud, honestly. So the support here is amazing. The people here are amazing. This locker room is amazing. It sucks that we obviously had to come into an abrupt end like this, but definitely, like you said, it's great to look back on it and see what we really did because we came a long way.
The game plan, just a little bit before we kind of move on from that. Yeah. You guys gave up a bunch of passing yards. Stafford looked amazing. He was in rhythm that first quarter. And then after that, you guys started to shut him down a little bit. You guys really made him hesitate. You got some quarterback hits on him. Then you eventually got that sack. But what sort of changed in that transition from the first to the second quarter and then throughout the game?
Yeah, we kind of understood how they want to attack us. Obviously, we knew in those play calls early on that we were going to be in some of those one-on-one balls where it could be, those 50-50 balls. And, they just executed better, made a better play. Higbee had the first one that started off. They just kept rolling. And obviously, we didn't help ourselves, shooting ourselves in the foot early with a penalty in the 4th and 2. Let that drive keep going, they get points. We just didn't help ourselves. They had a hell of a game, but, there was things that we can do on both sides, offense and defense, to make sure that we can lessen the gap and make sure that we're always in the game, and not lose momentum.
All right, that sack fumble that was picked up by Cash in return for a touchdown that was reviewed and told that everybody that was incomplete pass. How did you see it from your perspective? And I mean, how do you process that call?
And I'm talking about I probably get fined. I don't care. It's just the fact that 2 weeks in a row that we've been killed on us on the play just like that. We had the one in the end zone in Detroit. They didn't give it to us. They said that if a guy is tackling him, then he can do that. But then Sam does it, in Detroit. They call a penalty. We get it here. They really does the same thing. So all I ask was just consistency. That's all it is. I don't want to ridicule anybody or bash anyone, but consistency is going to make us better. It's going to understand what you're looking for, understand how we want to play it better, and play faster. So when those things happen, man, it was definitely it hurt, obviously it swung the momentum. But at the end of the day, we still have to go out there and make more plays. And I think that's just the motto that we have on ourselves. So we can't really just let that dictate the game. So it's a learning lesson for us. Obviously we face adversities, but facing adversity in a playoff game like that, man, we just got to keep our head down and keep going.
You handled that very, very well because everybody else that was listening and watching the game had a lot of 4-letter words that they wanted to say. So you handled that with class. Listen. I know that these are hard interviews at the end of the season. I saw you as I was standing in the locker room. Special dap up to Gink. What did Gink mean to you this year and to pair up alongside with him?
Yeah, just being able to feed off of each other. Somebody who has the same mindset of the game, has the same goals, wants to be great at their job, great at their craft in every aspect. And I think that with him doing that, him being like that alongside of me and just teaching a lot of things to me to the D-line room and pass rush games, we just feed off of each other. Man, I'm just glad. I'm proud of him, obviously, making it through the season because I think this is both our first years making it through full seasons, man. And for him to have a career year like he did, man, it's amazing when you just let him go and play and let him be himself. And I think that's the biggest thing that you see around here. They let us be ourselves. And I think, man, I can't wait. We already talked about we're going to be working all season together. We got to let the kids get together and play around and stuff like that. So, man, what a year he had. I'm super happy for him, super proud of him. He get the recognition that he deserves. And, man, just wait till next year. Just wait next year.
Last one I want to ask you about, a guy that you had 1 year to play with here, but he's a legend in our hearts, Harrison Smith. We don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't think he knows what's going to happen with him, but what's it like to get the experience with him?
Yeah, man, that's tough. Like I said, I just met him this first year, but it seems like, just a guy that he is, I feel like you know him forever. And we just wanted to get one for him. I think that was my mission today was, get one for him and the fans as well, man. The support we had here today was just shocking. But yeah, back to him, man. It kind of gave me a little choked up just because I just know, like, what is put into this game, man. And you know it, man. You understand what goes into this. New teams every year. He's been doing it for a while, so he's seen a lot of different Viking teams. So for him to, come to me afterwards and say, man, I'm a dog, and, give me my props, just from a guy like that, man, that just, it meant a lot, man. So, hate that we didn't get it for him, but man, the impact he has in this locker room can't be replaced.
Well, we all agree you are a dog, and we're glad you're on our team. Have a good offseason.
Appreciate it. Oh, man. See y'all next year. Let's do it.
All right, Jonathan Greenard with Ben Leber after last night's loss to the Rams. The Rams go on to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember yesterday, we're like, man, I think we can beat Philly. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's over.
We'll get them in game 2.
Yeah.
I think the Rams can beat them. I mean, if the Rams defense plays anything like that, they can.
Yeah.
They can.
I think
mess
the
with
Rams can
Philly.
beat anybody.
The Rams offense put up 24 points in the first half of that game last night.
Yeah, that defensive line is elite.
Y'all were trashing them yesterday. I was. What? Oh, actually, Muss was. Muss was basically saying how bad of a team they were.
I mean, I think I said the same thing. But I'm an idiot.
But no, just it's the nature of the game. That's why we play sport.
What?
So it's January 14th. How quickly do you start diving into mock drafts?
Today.
Today?
Yeah.
He was looking at one last week, I thought.
Yeah, I
weren't
was.
you?
Yeah.
But now that we know, what are we, 24th?
Yeah.
24th pick?
Yep. I'll start looking at them. It's mock draft season. It's off season.
Last 4 months?
Yeah, I'll watch all the games, but yeah, I can't wait. The off season's just as fun as the regular season. We get the schedule. We get the NFL draft. We get free agency. We get the combine.
Combine sucks. Schedule release sucks. The draft's cool.
Oh, wow.
Draft's cool.
Schedule releases. I like the schedule release. That's my favorite of the 3. Honestly,
Is it really?
it really is because I like
Why is that?
planning out. Like if there's if I'm going to go to like last couple years ago, Denver
Thank you, Zach.
was on the schedule. Now, unfortunately, this year there really isn't any appetizing cities I want to infiltrate. But
Infiltrate. Sauce, what will you spend more time with the next 4 months? Your son or mock drafts? Why did you have to ask me that? Well, you're hesitating.
I mean,
Or
it's
combo platter. Right now, he doesn't
it can
do
be
much.
both, right?
You can hold him and just scroll mock drafts.
Yes, it can be both.
you can ask him his opinion, which is
What is
about
it?
as
He doesn't-
worthy of an opinion as anybody else with a mock
That's
draft.
a very good point. Yeah,
He's not going to be more wrong.
no, he's yet to see a Vikings victory.
Well,
Did he see a Packers win?
No, they went 0-2 as well.
0-2 as well.
0-4 in that household.
Yep, not good.
What do we think the draft is going to look like in Green Bay,
Do they
especially
have Wi-Fi?
coming off of something as glitzy and glamorous as Las Vegas, and you can have guys in the Bellagio fountain walking on water, what is the equivalent going to be like in Green Bay? Is it at Lambeau or just in a
strip
city?
mall, I think
It's at
Next to
Lambeau and the
facilities.
surrounding areas. I believe Leonard Skinner is playing the pregame, and then you basically take a four-wheeler up to the podium, shotgun a Liney's, and put on a hat and go home.
Yeah.
Oh, it's basically just like Las Vegas.
It's pretty similar, yeah.
with more booze.
Yeah, lots of Milwaukee's best.
Their best restaurant already has a 5-month wait list because of the draft.
Yep.
Applebee's. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Everybody gets a Rocky Rococo pizza, too.
oh, dude, we
Hope I get drafted.
we need more Rocky Rococos in this world.
now I want Applebee's. I want Mott Sticks after 9.
And
Applebee's is
Dollar
elite.
Ritas.
Yeah, they got some wild drinks at
Yeah.
Applebee's.
I should go.
They got Bourbon Street steak and Oreo shakes.
What happened to that?
Oh, damn, Marnes. You're rhyming over there.
It's a song, Max. Do you not know that song?
No, I'm
it's
not.
a country song.
I'm not familiar with
It'll
it.
be played at the
fancy
NFL
like.
draft at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
40
I promise you.
times.
Yeah. All right.
Now it's time for headlines.
Headlines brought to you by my friends at Wolf River Electric. Go solar in 2025. Put some solar panels up. 2025. Go solar with Wolf River Electric and wolfriverelectric.com.
You could be catching a lot of that electricity today. Look at the bright, beautiful sunshine. It is a crystal clear blue sky.
I'm going to start banking some
Icy
cash,
cold.
man. Making some
Does
money.
it work in the winter?
Sure.
Yes, the sun's out.
Yeah.
Are you high?
It works way better in the summer, but sure,
Well,
you
the
make money in the
angle of
winter.
The sun, I don't know.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Are you greater than the sun?
The POV of the sun?
Oh,
Oh,
Woodhawk.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this
Hawk would
film
sleep with a
before.
planet for sure. I know the sun isn't a planet, but yeah, he'd bang Mars.
100%.
My dog?
No, whoops.
Oh,
No, he's not into that. He gave that up.
now you made it
He
weird.
gave it up.
Yeah.
For Lent.
Yeah, for Lent.
In
80
support
day
of
Lent.
you.
Yeah.
He
In
gave up
solidarity.
bestiality for Lent.
I didn't say that.
It was heavily implied.
Well,
Speaking of pets, today is National Dress Up Your Pet Day.
nah.
Hey, I love when dogs wear costumes.
Venus is the hottest planet.
He'd bang
Yeah,
Venus for
absolutely.
sure.
For sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is it really? That's weird. You would think Mercury would be. But Venus is hotter, huh?
It's so hot because it's thick atmosphere traps heat,
Oh, Venus is thick.
creating a
Two
runaway.
C's.
Paul, your hands up.
Do you think Hawk has watched some sort of adult video where it includes aliens?
Of course.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask something about planets. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is that even possible?
Saturn and its rings.
Some Neil deGrasse Tyson XXX.
Yeah. He's seen aliens get it on, right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
We all have, right?
Area 69.
Right?
For some reason, legislators in Wyoming want to create their own version of Mount Rushmore.
How?
Hi.
What's up, Sos?
I mean, would they just pick new presidents? Newer presidents? Four different presidents? More than four? How many are they carving?
And would their version also be on the side of a hill?
Would think so.
Would their version even be presidents? Or
Maybe
if it's
not.
a different profession.
Well, I just asked Google by accident. I said, because I wanted to learn more about the story, but it's got AI now. So it says, if creating your own Mount Rushmore, could include Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Susan B. Anthony, and Cesar Chavez. I would agree with that.
Can you go through those names again?
So-
Slower, please.
Martin Luther King Jr.,
She's an actress.
Rosa Parks,
She's an actress.
Okay.
Susan B. Anthony,
She's an actress.
Mark!
And who's the fourth
Cesar Chavez.
She's an actress.
one? Okay, so they're going to do actresses in Wyoming.
Rosie,
Oh.
Wyoming is stunning.
Have you been?
Never
Yeah,
been.
I've been to Wyoming, yeah.
What were you there
Hole.
for? Oh,
I
good for Jackson.
mean,
Have you been to Wyoming, Minnesota, near Forest Lake?
no. Maybe.
I have been. I was just there.
Been
What were
through
you
Wyoming?
doing? Trolling?
Driving through there on my way to Stacy.
That sounds right.
Who is
Stacey?
she?
Who's Anthony?
Yeah, she's an actress.
She likes Martin and his lake.
7 out of 10 men claim they want better Valentine's Day gifts. How about no
7
Valentine?
out of 10?
How about I don't want anything for Valentine's Day? What dude's like, I want better Valentine's Day gifts?
I thought guys just want one thing, and it's disgusting.
Flowers are disgusting?
Well,
Russell Stover chocolates are gross?
Uno Flip is disgusting.
Uno Flip.
What's
Yeah, she's an actress. Yeah.
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 is that a card game?
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Never played,
God.
Never played Uno Flip?
No.
No.
It's got the two-sided Unos? Oh,
Haven't played it either.
it's elite.
What's Uno Flash?
Sauce, you're going to realize this when you start playing games with Louis when he gets off his lazy ass and starts doing something.
Yeah, he went back to bed about
He needs to
5
get a
minutes
job.
Uno is the most riggable game when you need your kid to like learn how to win. Because you know how many times when Harper was like 4 or 5 years old, I'd have like 6 wild cards and she'd be like, Uno, and be like,
I can't go.
guess I'm gonna have to draw. And you
Yeah,
can just draw cards for hours.
Same.
And then they put that winning card down, you're like, then you quickly just bury your hand
Yeah.
so that they don't
Sorry, bud. I'll shuffle
Oh,
again.
yeah. And of course, they don't have to know that you had 6
you're-
draw 4s.
And every wild card
Of course,
imaginable. Yeah.
God, you've won 7 straight.
Yeah. Way to go, bud.
Then they get to about Marms. What age did you start teaching Garth and Farley that losing is important?
Garth.
Whatever their names are.
That losing is important?
Winning and losing, you have to learn how to lose, right? That's part of growing up.
Yeah,
Losing's
I mean,
a valuable
8.
lesson.
8.
8-ish. That's probably good.
How much did you love SNL? And your kids, Garth and Farley.
You know how much I love SNL.
What a bit.
Hey, when is this documentary out? I saw somebody tweeting at you about it. There's like a 4-part documentary about SNL,
I didn't see the date. I just watched the entire trailer.
and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I think next week, this week.
Max, have you watched the Springer doc yet?
Yes, I have.
Zach, you have too? And
That was phenomenal, honestly.
Really good.
I was everything that I really wanted it to be. I loved the behind the scenes kind of camera work. I don't really like at the end that the director kind of veered into the territory of Jerry Springer was the beginning of the downfall of society. It's like, all right, come on. Let's unclutch our pearls here.
Reflection of society.
Yeah, exactly. And it was
well said.
very fascinating just seeing because obviously you know that those people weren't all, that wasn't their nature naturally, every single one of those people. So it was cool seeing how the producers produced them up, how they were, I mean, ostensibly real people with real situations, but they were still being coached up. So there was a degree of fakeness to it, but obviously, yeah, it was pretty interesting to see that a lot of those stories, including the guy that married the horse, was, I mean, at least as the way they presented
I had to look away.
Oh, that's an all-time episode.
Oh, gross.
He married a horse?
Oh, yeah. That's probably the most infamous Jerry Springer episode of all time.
I couldn't look.
Well, and just all the different stuff. And then you don't even think about some of the dark stuff that people tried to get on the air that the guy had to the produce. Oh my God. Yeah. When that guy, that's when I was like, peace be with you, brother. Because at first he's like, I've seen some things. And then I was like, oh, come on.
That would have made me quit too.
Yeah, that was disturbing. But it was honestly everything that you wanted to be.
It's crazy that the guy was just this mild-mannered, news guy.
He's had 70 different lives. He was the mayor of Cincinnati. Then he was just a normal news guy. Then he was just a normal TV host. And then it just started veering into the wild territory. And eventually he had
beat
Judge
Oprah
Jerry. Yeah.
At one point.
What?
Oh, no, in the ratings. That would have been a great
that would have been a crazy episode.
Oh, my God.
Jerry
She's
versus
out there.
Oprah.
She's the host of her own daytime talk show.
Jerry Springer also famously once was with a woman of the night, and he paid her with a check.
Some 9 years ago, I spent time with a woman I shouldn't have, and I paid her with a check. I wish I hadn't done that, and the truth is, I wish no one would ever know.
Jerry did that a couple times because I didn't even know that he had a threesome with a couple of the people that were on the show, a couple of the guests on the show.
Yes.
Oh, really? Was he married?
I don't
during this
think so.
Good for Jer Bear.
He once had an episode that you could rent at Blockbuster Video called I Refuse to Wear Clothes. And of course,
they had that one on there. Yeah.
30 out of 30. It was just this smoking hot blonde lady.
Just a plant, though, right?
Of course. I mean, yeah.
She didn't actually live that way. It was
No, but
just
it was
to have
just-
an episode
so
of
I
a 10 out of
refuse to
10.
wear clothes was the name of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they actually had that part in the documentary.
Oh my gosh. I, of course, Googled Jerry Springer guy married a horse.
Yeah, don't do it.
Well, I'm just looking at the photos. The guy who's wearing a long sleeved red button down is wearing dark glasses and carrying a walking stick. I mean, he's seated, but is he blind?
Yeah, I believe so.
Did that play into
Not
for some reason?
not
him
at
wearing
all.
a horse?
They didn't even mention it.
So he did not believe that the
blind.
female form was similar to that of a racing horse.
He met the horse on his trek up Mount Everest.
But he's blind.
Go on.
But
He's blind.
Yeah.
I mean, he's.
Why is he kissing that horse?
It was, yeah.
That's his wife
That
you're
was-
talking about, by the way.
I couldn't believe that they actually, full on
showed
tongue and
Oh,
everything.
they showed it so many times.
Yeah, it was really gross.
What was the one that they had, they showed in New York, but they cut by the time it got to the Central Time Zone?
Oh, that's right. I think that was the horse one. Yeah, they said they showed it in New York, and by the time that it was supposed to hit all the other networks, they took it off the air immediately. Yeah, they're like, nope. It was just cool seeing it as someone who grew up watching it and still watches it to this day. Just seeing kind of like a highlight reel of all the different wacky episodes, seeing the clan and all that stuff in there. It's like it used to be somewhat serious and played into the outrageousness even in the seriousness, and then it just obviously veered into what we all know and love.
speaking of absolute creeps, have you guys read the details on this guy that was arrested for stalking Caitlin Clark?
No, I saw the headline. I didn't see the detail.
Yikes.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's no curing that. That's a guy that just should be off the streets permanently.
Yeah.
He's just not attached to reality. So let's just go ahead and give him a nice little room with some padded walls and give him Netflix, right? Maybe a bag of chips or two and say, take a seat, buddy. You're not going outside again.
Yeah,
Which
I would
again-
argue. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't go outside. So it's not unlike me to compare somebody to living a life in jail. But I think this guy should, with no ability to go outside. The guy sucks.
Yeah, man,
That's
I agree.
Name a stalker that doesn't suck or
True.
that is in touch with reality.
True, but there are some that are just a-holes that just won't leave gals alone. This guy is that, plus he is not in our dimension.
Sting. He's a stalker that doesn't, he doesn't suck.
That is a
Because he
reference.
wrote a song about it.
Every
Yeah.
breath you take, every
Yeah.
move you
So,
make,
yeah.
I'll be watching you.
Your mic's on.
I wonder if that's what Rockwell was singing about. Anyway, yeah, read the details on that
But
story.
driving
It'll
around your
terrify you.
house 3 times a day, but don't call the law just yet.
Just yet,
The
yeah.
public is allowed to drive by Caitlin's field house.
But then when he was arrested, he flat out told the cops, I'm in an imaginary relationship. I think he used the word imaginary.
I'm in an imagination, fantasy type thing. It's a joke. It's nothing to do with threatening. That's not a sentence.
Yeah, get that guy out of
This
society.
guy's off his rocker.
Sure is, Zach. I have never seen the movie Romeo and Michelle,
Yeah,
right?
it's
The high
good.
school reunion bit
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Lisa Kudrow says they are close to a sequel. Did we need a sequel? Isn't that movie
Why?
25 years old?
Why?
Just make
Maybe they're
new
going to their
movies.
40-year class reunion.
Will it be better than the Vikings game last night? Would you rather watch Sauce? You have to watch either the game back, start to finish, with your eyes clockwork orange, or Romeo and Michelle 2.
Romeo and Michelle 2. Because there's probably at some point like some great song in it.
I thought you were going to say gratuitous nudity. I'm like, do you think they're going to have gratuitous nudity in the sequel to Romeo and Michelle?
I mean, you know who loved the first one?
Hawk.
Yeah. You don't have to be so disappointed every time I ask you a question.
A man in Pennsylvania is facing multiple drug charges after police say that he stole a bunch of strawberries from a grocery store and then tried to use cocaine in the parking lot.
My God. You make it 100?
Is that a combo? Is that a classic
I don't know
combo?
if the combo has that flavor, but
Yeah, no, you picked up the Cub Foods cocaine strawberry combo.
Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't you do coke and then go try to steal strawberries, not the other way around?
What does it mean he tried to do coke?
right. How do you try to do coke? You either do coke or you don't
sneeze?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
468 people dressed up as dinosaurs and broke a world record.
How?
Why are we not breaking world
That's good
records? We were going to do that bit a couple years ago. Again, everybody says the Power Trip is the show that has the most ideas that we never follow through on because we all just go home at 9:01.
Who says
why?
that, Abbott?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that guy fell. He
The
sounds
idea's
fat. Okay, hold on. Who should the Cowboys hire? Are the Cowboys playing this weekend? Nope.
Do you have any idea who's on your list?
Your dad?
Ew.
What about that Deion Sanders guy?
I don't think you hire Dion if you're Jerry Jones because then it isn't about you. It's about Dion. Dion is one of the most polarizing people that's ever been on this earth. He's very good at... Well, what?
That's ever been on the earth?
I mean, he's close.
it's like Genghis Khan, Deion Sanders, Hitler. They're polarizing.
I meant from sports.
Oh, from sports.
I don't know, man. I was up till like 11:30. I'm sorry. I screw up when I talk.
Hey, Cleopatra lived
Captain Perfect.
like Dumb and Dumber. Cleopatra lived closer to the debut of the iPhone than the building of the Great Pyramid. What? Wow. The pyramid was finished in 2540 BC. She was born in 69 BC.
Nice.
And the iPhone debuted in 2007. Wait a minute. I thought the pyramids were built in the 1800s.
Brilliant.
Yes.
I've been lied to.
Yes.
We need to do one of those again. We need to do one of those big, grand wonders that will live on forever.
Well, Mount Rushmore in Wyoming. It's coming.
With Cesar Chavez and Susan B. Anthony
Rosa
and
Parks.
Just a
and
bunch of actresses.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Paul, your hand was up.
Cleopatra Woodhawk.
Now?
Well, she's been dead for 2,000 years.
Maybe not this morning. He's really tired.
Oh, yeah,
ask him tomorrow. Marins, you're an American treasure. See you Friday for initials.
I'll be here Friday. Yes. See you then.
Representing Great Clips on Friday and initials. 9 to noon is next. My guess it's going to sound like a funeral, but you'll find out in like 5 minutes. This is the Power Trip Morning Show. See you tomorrow.
To listen back to today's Power Trip Morning Show or to hear previous shows, podcast us on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.